If you are experiencing foundation issues, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Sylacauga Mayor Jim Heigl joins us this morning. Mayor, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Jimmy Dale. It's a pleasure to be back.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, isn't it?
Beautiful day. It's going to be a warm day, too.
Oh, yeah. Memorial Day weekend's coming up. A lot of people are taking off the entire week this week for Memorial Day.
They are. We have it at City Hall. People planned it ahead of time, you know, to take their vacation and run in with Memorial Day weekend as well. Gives them an extra day.
Talk about, you're a Vietnam vet. Talk about Memorial Day and what it should mean to Americans.
Well, it should be a very solemn and appreciative day. And of course, at the American Legion, we will have our memorial service starting at 7 o'clock Monday morning. We will take our flag and we'll bring it all the way down, call retreat. We'll raise it back up to the colors, and then we'll put it back at half-staff with taps. And there's a small ceremony with that, goes along with it. We'll take our wreaths and all down to the corner of Norton Avenue and Fort Williams at the chamber, and we will set that flag at half-staff as well, the same procedure, and we will honor those 4 war memorials down there. The wreaths will be set. We've got World War I there, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam veterans are in that area. We will set our flags probably sometime Sunday and have them ready for Monday morning.
It's okay to barbecue and go to the creek bank or wherever you're going to be going, enjoy family and friend time. And a lot of people taking off. It's a 3-day holiday.
Yep.
And
Congress did that in 1968. They tied it into a 3-day weekend.
But we certainly don't want to miss about Memorial Day.
The meaning of it,
yeah.
What it means to us, why we're here today because of these people.
Right, absolutely.
And fly your flags, show your patriotism.
Talk about your time, you're a military veteran, Vietnam era. Would you do it all over again?
Yes. I may go into something other than the Signal Corps, but yes, I'd do it again. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, there would be no doubt about that.
A lot of veterans feel the same way.
Absolutely, they do. Military's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But I think everybody needs a taste of it if they're physically able to go through the basics.
So they need a taste of it, huh?
Get a taste of it. If they're able to go through. Some, we've lost some. When I went into basic, we lost a young man. He wasn't physically able for it.
Where was your basic training done?
At Fort Gordon, Georgia.
Okay.
And I went to Fort Sill, Oklahoma Field Artillery. And after I finished that, I was going to go airborne with the 101st. And I woke up one morning, I said, this isn't for me. So I went back and saw a recruiter. I was a U.S. guy. I was anyway, I re-enlisted the regular Army. I was drafted at that time, and I went back, and he said, we need you in the Signal Corps now. So got that, went back to Fort Gordon, Georgia, spent about 4 months in the Signal Corps, and they flew us to California. And that was the funniest part of my training. There was 4 of us, Bechtel, Crawford, Solnecker, and I. We went up there to pick up our traveling orders, and the captain there had him. He looked at that thing fly. Nobody flies to California. They all go by train. so I said, we don't know, sir. He said, well, I'll see about this. He picks up the phone there and calls somebody. Sir, we got these 4 people here, you know, gave us our 4-something service numbers. And he said, yes, sir. He said, yes, sir. He said, yes, sir. Okay. Gentlemen, here's your travel. You go to Atlanta, Georgia. You get on a flight and fly to California. And the reason for that, we had to be there. Our MOS was needed in Southeast Asia within a certain length of time. We had to be in San Francisco to get on that troop ship to get over there in time to relieve the others who were already
How many years you served?
I served 4 years, plus 3 years in the reserves. I spent 2 years of that in Southeast Asia.
What, outside of the time in Vietnam, what was some of the most challenging times that you had in the military?
Staying in the field for 3 days. That was a challenge with the humidities and everything else, being out in the field, you know. We had no base camp to go to or anything else. We were security communications unit. They had things in Vietnam that MAGV, the Military Assistance Command Vietnam, which I was attached to, and there was security communication going on over there. Did
you develop friendships?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. You run the guys all the time, all kinds of people. you love them all, you know. There's a couple of them I stay away from.
Do you still stay in communication with some of them?
No, I don't.
Okay.
It's been over the years. I mean, you're looking over 50 years. Most of them are already gone. Yeah, sure.
Well, we salute your service to our country and all of our veterans and those who paid the ultimate price.
Yes. It's those we must never forget. I mean, back in 1861, I think they started decorating the graves over in Mississippi there when it first started, and then just grew over the years. And even in 1866, I think it was, when they started in Georgia with the decorations, and it just grew throughout the South, and then the North started getting involved with it too in Decoration Day. But we've got to remember how we got here. Who made the ultimate sacrifices to get us where we're at today? Yeah. The greatest generation in the world. You know, we were pulled into World War I. We didn't really want to get in that. World War II, we didn't want to get in that. A lot of these wars we didn't want to get into, we were pulled into. Vietnam, there was agreement, you know, with the French and all this other stuff that pulled us into there. And we thought we were fighting communism, keeping the spread of communism throughout Southeast Asia. And, but we're so fortunate. God has blessed this nation beyond our human beliefs, you know.
Does it bother you that we seem to abuse that in our country today?
More so today than ever. We see it so much today. They just don't seem to respect, and I wish they could go in other countries, third world countries and other countries there and see how they live. Some of the countries I feel like we have no business in, but we got to keep them confined to that area. You know, it's ideology, you know, we don't need that in our country, you know.
Sylacauga Mayor Jim Heigl, Vietnam veteran, our guest this morning for a few moments on this Memorial Day week, and we head into the weekend. A lot of people going to be traveling, but city government goes on, doesn't it?
It does. Well, we'll be closed Monday. It'll be a national holiday. Like I said, 1968, the Congress made that a 3-day weekend, and it's a national holiday now. And which is great, you know.
I didn't get the memo because I'm working Monday. I don't know what the deal is.
Well, you're in communication. You got to keep moving. I mean, you can't shut everything down.
So what's going on at City Hall? I know we had council meeting last week. Update us on what's happening.
Well, we did. We were looking at James Payton Boulevard. We had our meeting yesterday. It's the pre-construction meeting. Everything's going well. June the 7th, we'll start construction of James Payton.
What's going to happen there?
They're going to mill it down. They're going to widen it out over there toward the Coosa Pines Federal Credit Union and west.
So does it go from 511 there over?
511, okay. Yeah. From 511 going in, it'll still be 2-lane up until then she'll spread out when you get up toward Walmart. And we'll get that area out there. It's going to be milled down, resurfaced, restriped. We're going to put a new striping on 511 all the way up from Bowden all the way up to the Oak Grove traffic light on 511. Open that before they can see it.
I was about to say, you can't see that striping now.
There's nothing there. If you don't live here, you don't know how to go. But it'll be striped. We hope to put a light in, but that's a big expense because the power poles and everything else, we haven't got the money for that right now. But we do have, we thank LDOT. They came in here and helped us with this project on Payton Boulevard. You see what's happening between 5th and 6th Street. That's ED&T is overseeing the construction of this one. On the Payton Boulevard, we got EEF&S, Michael Rice, who's helped us with all our paving throughout the city, is going to be engineering the Payton Boulevard project.
Is the down on Broadway, is that a state job or is that a city job that's doing that?
Well, it's a LDOT grant we're doing it with. We can only go from the curbing back to about 5 or 6 feet, you know, with the city right away. The rest belongs to the state. We have to coordinate with LDOT. They were there at our meeting yesterday, what we got. Because LDOT's coming in here now. They're into Oak Grove now. They're going to go all the way down to probably Coosa Street and redo all these intersections. Right now, they're asking for input from the government and from the retailers and from the public, you know, on this. But it's going to be so much better and better. We got a lot of accidents out there, and they're going to come in here and help us with that.
Well, it's a good thing we can secure grants, you know, to help us with this.
Most of them are 80-20. Some you get 90-10 if you're fortunate. I wanted a LWCF grant I was hoping to get one time. We get some certain issues out of the way. Hopefully we can fall back on that one again. But that's good money. I mean, 80-20.
I'd take that anytime.
Oh, yeah. Well, as long as you got the money over here to match it with.
Do we have time frame of when say James Payton, and also on Broadway, when you'd like to see that done?
Oh, yeah. It'll be just over a month.
Okay.
They'll have a little over a month. They'll have it ready and be wide open.
Come on, James Payton as well?
Yeah.
Wow. It's a pretty good turnaround.
It is. Well, these contractors, they get in there and they get it done. I think the only big issue they're going to really have is materials, and that mainly concrete. Concrete's not easy to come by. There's such a demand for it, you know. And the bigger the project is, the easier it is to come by. Because, you know, anybody selling anything retail says, well, I haven't got but so much, this guy wants it all, so I'm going to get it all, you know. But,
good thing you don't need a whole lot of wood.
Oh, my gosh. I hear it's going to start coming back down again. Hopefully it will.
That'll be good.
It's just ridiculous, the way things just jumped up out of sight all of a sudden. And all these, I don't know. It's
all right, on Broadway, down near Sylacauga Glass, and on the other side of the street, they're doing both sides, right?
Both sides. You're getting the glass area first, you know, there. All
right, will it take that block? Is that what they're doing there? Or?
Well, just what you see on the right-of-way,
okay.
Broadway Road. That's blending in along with the 1st, 2nd, 3rd Street and between 6th and 8th Street.
Yeah. Did you pick and grin out here last weekend with the...
No, I didn't. I came by there a couple of times. I had some other things I had to do, but
looked like they were having a good time.
Boy, they were having a good time. They had a band and everything set up there. It looked wonderful. And it's so good to see our parks opened up and the people getting together again.
Absolutely.
So much, a lot better than it was last year.
No doubt about that. We just kind of wind the clock back a little bit and look. You're absolutely right.
I'm glad to see people getting back into the churches and all too. The Sunday schools and churches and all starting to fill back up again.
A lot of conversation from the last council meeting and prior to that. You know, we took down the old traffic lights on Norton some time ago, and rightly so, because you couldn't repair those things, could you?
Mechanical type. They had wheels in there, and the teeth start wearing out of them and everything else, and then parts got hard to come by and everything else. That's when they had to go to the electronic ones, because they're a lot more expensive, but they last a lot longer. Yes, the people, the merchants on 1st and 2nd Street on Norton Avenue were upset about the removal of them because they didn't find it safe enough to go back and forth across the road. The traffic count in that area has been run, and also the amount of accidents has all been moved too, but we got more in the James Payton area than we do at 1st and 2nd Street. But 1st and 2nd Street, they do not have the money right now to put a traffic light in that area. So they're going to put a 4-way stop and look at that first. And when we get enough revenue, the light will go in. I know Nate Brewer, God bless him, he has fought hard for this thing because his people wanted it. Yeah. And that's what he's there for, to serve the people.
So like you think in the future the lights will be installed?
The light will go there eventually, yeah. Okay. And of course, the Continental building there in the corner, as you know, that's going to come down. We're going to have a new bank in that corner. That's going to make a big difference in that intersection.
Wow.
A lot happening.
Yeah, it is a lot happening. I'm riding down Broadway just yesterday, and you can see the facades there that are going up, and man, it's really looking good already now.
Well, it is. And you see the growth out there at Payton Park. You see the new 5 and below, you know, out there. Gosh, what the entrance they got up there, all that metal and everything. Got that going up, and we'll hear more about our grocery store in a couple more weeks.
I couldn't help but
I know you're going to ask it anyway, so I figured I'll go ahead and bring it out. You know?
Alexander City just announced yesterday, I think, about a big project, 280 and 63, Highway 63 there, and Publix was brought up.
Yeah, it was. They're looking at putting $7.5 or $6 million to get them into there. I wish them well. You know, that's seasonable down there. They don't have a lot of the industries that we have, you know, but that's their business. Their people elect their people. They know what they're doing.
I understand. Yeah. I understand. But why is there open conversation about a public store in Alexander City, and we say grocery store here? Yeah. There's not been an announcement of whatever grocery store it is.
Well, just because of what the developer wants. You know, that's the way they want it. You know, that's the way they present it to us. You know, the grocery store's coming. Until we get the plans down at City Hall that shows us the building, it's got their name on it, until Hutton Project tells us, well, this is what's going to be there.
Well,
we've heard, you know, we've been talking about this for years.
Yeah.
Well, even down in Alex City, they've been talking about Publix down there for
yeah.
about a couple of years, you know,
Yeah.
because they would love to have it. We would love to have it. And they Publix can see the benefit of them coming to our areas, especially in through our bypasses.
I know you do, and I as well have a number of people who say to me, well, I don't see anything going on out there on that plot. Are they going to build or not build?
Well, first thing they had to do was get the utilities. Was too far in on the Hutton property. They had to get them pushed out there to there, and that was a big expense. I mean, you put that kind of utility, you see the size of that wire and everything out there. That was pretty expensive. Then you got the sewers, and then you got the gas, and all that's got to be laid. All that is already laid out. All that is out there. Drainage is out. The landscape is out there. We got the prints up there for the elevation of the building, how it's going to sit. The only thing we're waiting for now is the prints for the building itself.
Do you see a, quote, grocery store this year?
Oh, yeah. I think we'll hear more about it in another couple of weeks.
Do you see a grocery store in operation this calendar year?
Yeah. I mean, the way they build today is if there's no issues with the materials and everything else, they should be able to move straight ahead. But materials are very hard to come by. There's such a demand, you know, especially for concrete.
90 degrees yesterday in Sylacauga, upper 80s
93
today.
and 95 was the record, and we made it to 93.
and no pool in Sylacauga.
I hate that. I really do. In my opinion, I would have put $180,000, $200,000 in our pool and got it going. I talked to Swim Right. They called me and asked me about it, and I didn't know about it, but they could have done it. And I would have hung on to this pool until I got ready for the new community center. It's sort of like Robo Motors. They were here on Fort Williams. They didn't shut Fort Williams down. They kept that car dealership going, and they went out here in 280 and got it going. And then they, you know, but just to cut it out, I mean, we've got 2 years of our kids that's not going to learn how to swim. There's 2 years of aerobics, swimming lessons,
going somewhere else.
Yeah, and elderly people with arthritic and cardiac issues could be in that pool walking around for helps them, and I just hate it.
So what are we going to do?
Well, it's up to the council. They're the ones that made this decision. It's they got ED&T looking into it. First thing they popped up, yes, you know, they were looking at the Food World building on Main Avenue, and then they said they weren't. They got an engineer to look at it, and they spent about $10,000 to tell them that the building was not suitable for a community center. And then they went and looked at engineering again to tear it down. That was about $17,000. Then they looked at the building, get a drawing of the building, what they would put there, and that was about $64,000. You know, this is all money, but I would have kept our pool going and done this later, because we're looking at another 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
and they're not
at least,
and they're still not even sure if they're going to put it on Main Avenue or not. Because other ideas, they finally went to the Planning Commission, and the Planning Commission will give them 3 options or make 3 recommendations. Planning Commission cannot tell them what to do. They'll look at the areas, the zoning, and everything else, utilities, everything, and they'll make a recommendation to the council. This was our recommendations. It's up to you.
The city council makes the ultimate decision. Is that correct?
Yeah, they control all the money, and they control all the property of the city of Sylacauga.
Okay. Finally, before we go this morning, did we ever get a census count?
I have not received it yet. I get census notices all the time about dozens and one things, but I haven't got a final count of. The state is actually growing, and I'm sure that we have either grown or we sure haven't fallen to the point where we'll drop below 12. But I imagine we're still about 12. We got people coming into Sylacauga. I'm meeting them all the time. Maine, coming in here from Washington, state of Washington. The man came up, a veteran came up to our breakfast yesterday morning, coming from California to live here in Sylacauga. The Marble Fest brought some of these people in here. And I was surprised. I said, gosh, it's so great. They loved our city so much. But we got to get some housing.
One other note, Mayor, before we go. We continue to see marquees that businesses, restaurants, industry begging for help.
I went by Jack's this morning. They had to close down their dining room because they didn't have enough help. They could only handle the drive-through.
That was today?
That was this morning.
Okay.
When I picked up a cup of coffee. And the same thing with Chick-fil-A and other places. Hopefully the government has refused to accept any more federal money for unemployment taxes for the people. And that way that income will drop for them. Hopefully they'll get back into the workforce. It's a shame we have to push people into this thing, but it's not fair. The dignity of man is being ruined by giving him money not to work. You know, it's ridiculous.
And once you get in a habit of it,
oh my gosh, you can't get away from it because they think it's old, and they just ruin their lives, their offsprings, and everybody. They ruin everybody's lives for the future. And
businesses are suffering because of it.
It is retail,
not just here, but other places as well.
All over the country. All over the country, and thank God that we got enough governors and other people throughout who and elected officials in there fighting against this thing.
All right, Mayor, thanks for being with us, and have a safe Memorial Day, and we thank you for your service to our country.
God bless all those who fell before us. We're here because of them today.
All right. More Daybreak right after this.